The Avengers radio series, a cultural phenomenon in South Africa back in the 1970s. South Africa was a country with no national television service. It wasn't until 1976 that the country would get its first taste of television broadcasts. But before that, radio was the primary medium of entertainment and information for the masses. This was the context when The Avengers, a British spy-fi series, made its debut on South African radio and became a cultural phenomenon. The Avengers was a British television series that originally aired from 1961 to 1969. The show revolved around the adventures of John Steed, a suave and sophisticated secret agent, and his various female associates. The series was a unique blend of traditional spy thriller elements with science fiction and fantasy, which set it apart from other shows of its time. While the series was hugely popular in the UK and had also made a significant impact in the American markets, being one of the rare British series given a network transmission slot, it was virtually unknown in South Africa. This was primarily due to the lack of a national television service in the country until 1976. However, as a film series, The Avengers was able to gain some exposure in South Africa through film rentals. But it was the launch of the radio series that truly brought The Avengers to the masses in South Africa. Come and listen at www.myclassicradio.net.
Now, Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding present the CBS Radio Network. Hi again, everybody. Gee, it's been 24 hours since we sat here and talked with you all.
Where did we leave off last night? I thought we might pick up the end of last night's show and just kind of go along as if it was a half hour.
I have no idea. Really?
Well, except right if you get work and hang by your thumbs.
That's right, sure. And Mary McGoon had the big free fall, you remember? From Vermont?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, just before we went on the air, we had an interesting exchange of words between our engineer, Joe Alonzo, and Cyril Torture, who works the turntables and tape machines.
I wish we knew what they had said. We can't understand them.
They talk in a foreign tongue, and it's a dialect that neither Bob nor I are familiar with. But if anything more comes of it, we'll be sure to tell you. Mr. Cabibbo stepped in just at the precise moment to save everything.
What is the dialect he saves things with?
I don't know that one either.
I thought you knew that one.
No, I don't know Cabibbo's dialect either.
But we are working on slight difficulties, but we'll try to make out.
All right, then now then, Cyril, if you and Mr. Alonzo would try to get together, let's have this theme, please.
Well done, you. Hi, this is Jimmie Feeler broadcasting from star-studded Hollywood, where a marvelous and distinguished crowd is gathered to celebrate the opening of a brand new hospital, the Hollywood Capri General Hospital. The director and owner of the Hollywood Capri General and a string of other hospitals here on the West Coast is with me right now. Dick, isn't this a great crowd?
Jimmy, it's a great crowd. Even better than the one on hand when my other place opened. The Deauville Biarritz Doctors Hospital in Burbank.
Well, for our listeners, the Hollywood Capri is a beautiful edifice constructed in the shape of a green stucco medicine cabinet. It's really beautiful.
Jimmy, you might also be interested to know that every room in the hospital has hi-fi piped in 24 hours a day.
Wonderful, wonderful. Dick, that should attract a good many patients, I'm sure. Now, what are some of the other features? Could you tell us?
Well, there are the regulation diving boards patients would use for jumping into the whirlpool bath. Then we have...
How about acoustical tiles in the operating room, Dick? Do you have that feature going for you in this hospital, too?
Well, Jimmy, as you know, we tried that at the Deauville, and what we found was the nurses couldn't hear the doctors during surgery.
Oh, that's too bad, Dick. Shame that the surgery has to spoil the decor of the operating room?
Well, we used wood paneling instead, so the room doesn't look too bad. Gives it sort of rustic feeling, I guess you might say.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Dick, I see an ambulance approaching. Is that your first patient arriving in that ambulance?
That's right, Jimmie. And isn't that ambulance a beauty?
Sure is. The ambulance, ladies and gentlemen, is covered with green stucco and blends beautifully with the building itself. And now the ambulance is pulling to a stop in front of us.
Yes.
And I think it has already.
Yes. Jimmie, I might explain that the patient in the ambulance is really sick.
Really sick, huh?
Lots of people might think this is a publicity gimmick.
Oh, now, Dick, your name stands for integrity in this community. And if you say the patient in the ambulance is really sick, we really believe you.
Thanks, Jimmie. There's a man in that ambulance with the flu. He's not a movie star or anything like that, just a plain guy who needs medical attention.
Well, you can hear the roar of the crowd. The ambulance driver just opened the door and stepped out, and it's Rance Baker, popular young star of Reversal Pictures. Over here, Rance.
Hi, Mr. Feeling.
How are you?
Well, what are you doing here? This crowd, gosh. Can a guy drive a sick man to the hospital in privacy?
Well, now the doctor's getting out of the rear door of the ambulance. No, it's beautiful Mona Freewood wearing a daringly low-cut medical gown. Mona, over here, if you will, please.
Hello, Jimmie. My, what a stunning hospital. If I ever get sick, here's where I'm coming. Incidentally, Jimmie, did you know that Rance Baker and I are starring in Reversal's latest hit, The Doctor and the Co-Ed?
Thank you, Mona. And you too, Rance. Getting back to you, Dick, what about the patient in the ambulance? Are there going to be some popular stretcher bearers to take him inside the hospital?
Jimmie, I was just inside the ambulance talking to the man, and unfortunately he's not wearing a necktie, so we can't admit him to the Hollywood Capri Hospital. I'm afraid we'll have to do this whole thing again tomorrow night. Will you be available, Jimmie?
I'm afraid not, Dick. I'd love to be, but I'll be guest of honor at a new beach that's opening out in Santa Monica. I'm scheduled to throw the first beach ball at somebody's head. But thanks anyway. It's been a real thrill being here. And now this is Jimmie Feeler drawing in his news tentacles and bidding you a good goodbye from Hollywood.
California, here I come. Right back where... Now, let's see, we have something here to do for the CBS Radio Network. Oh, another thumbnail preview time.
Well, that's good.
Time for a peek at this coming Sunday's adventure of Have Gun, Will Travel on CBS Radio.
What is Paladin's problem this time? Do you have any word on that?
Well, it seems he's going to be heading for a little mining town high in the Sierra.
Isn't that a plot synopsis from the program department you have there?
Yeah, let's see. I read it. It says, in a cavern, in a canyon, excavating for a mine, lived a miner, 49er, and his daughter.
Clementine.
Right? Yeah.
I wonder what the story's going to be about.
Well, you could search me from now to doomsday, and you still wouldn't have your answer.
Well, don't forget, Have Gun, Will Travel, top Western action drama, Sunday night on CBS Radio.
I wonder if Paladin has a first name.
Well, that is his first name.
Then what's his last name?
Well, he doesn't have one.
Section Boone, you jerk.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I understand Wally Ballou is standing by at the site of the first indoor golf tournament out in Palm Springs. Our California line was especially cheap tonight, so we figured on two features from there.
Whenever we have to call in California, the West Coast, we figure we might as well...
double up.
Sure. Get as much value out of the phone line as possible. Okay, standing by now live and on tape is Wally Ballou.
Wally Ballou, and I'm on hand tonight, Bob and Ray, with the first indoor golf tournament broadcast. Ever since the advent of putting greens for the home, this has become an increasingly popular sport.
Wait a minute. Wally, why are you whispering?
Well, you always whisper golf tournaments. At least they do on TV.
You say so, Wally. Go ahead.
Well, standing next to me is a well-known figure in the golf world, Kerry Middlecup.
Thank you, Wally. This is Kerry Middlecup speaking. I think we have what will prove to be a rather exciting indoor golf match for you this afternoon.
which Dutch Finsterdow and Mason Logan will pair on.
This first green where we are standing right now is a par 2, isn't it, Kerry?
This green is a par 2 dogleg to the left. It's surrounded by 2 traps, the child's sandbox there on the right, and a tumbler of martinis on the left. Dutch is using a number 2 putter for his approach.
Well, he's stepping up to the ball and taking his time.
Oh, too bad. Dutch pulled the ball just a little bit that time. And as a result, it landed in the martini tumbler right off the green there.
Kerry, while we're waiting here, what are some of the more popular indoor courses?
Well, Wally, there are numerous fine indoor courses. Charlie Farrell's Den, Patio, and Dinette is an interesting course. I think the most used playable course in the country is the White House Conference Room.
Let's hold off on that for just a moment. Mason seems to be lining up his ball prior to his opening shot to the green. What club is...
I believe Mace has chosen the number 3 putter for this shot.
3 putter.
Ow!
Oh.
Mason is into the sand trap on the right.
Does he get penalized because his ball hit that child seated in the sandbox?
No. You see, actually, under tournament rules, the child should have been removed by the caddy prior to the shot. Now, the ball will, however, sit at the point where it landed after ricocheting off the child's chin.
What do you consider your favorite course, Kerry?
Oh, that's a tough one, Wally. I think rather favor the servants' quarters at the Charlton Heston estate myself. There are quite a few hazards to shoot around, which make it difficult, but more exciting, too.
Well, I see Dutch is coming up with his ball now. It's a rather tough lie, wouldn't you say, Kerry?
Yes, Dutch has a particularly tough lie here, Wally. He's got to get the ball out of the martini tumbler, over the high boy to the left, and onto the green. He'll use a wedge, I think.
Well, would you say that Dutch is not quite up to his usual game today?
Well, I don't know, Wally. Someday the brakes are against you now. The crowd feels it, obviously. You can tell by their applause that they're with the boy.
Yeah, or the lack of it. He seems to be out on the patio with his ball there now.
Dutch has had a bad turn of luck here, Wally. His shot out of the tumbler over the high boy was in direct line with the cup. However, he overshot just a bit and went through the picture window out onto the patio.
Well, he'll be lucky to get a bogey 3 on this hole, would you say?
Wally, I would say that without qualification, but you see, he's a pro, and you never know when he'll come up with that one shot that will beat you, you know.
Well, this is Wally Ballou. Our time has run out as Mason Logan lines up his ball in the child's sandbox. And I only hope our play-by-play has managed to capture the excitement and enthusiasm which has prevailed here at this first broadcast of an indoor golf tournament. Now back to Bob and Ray in New York.
Is he serious? Sure didn't, Wally, if you're still listening on your earphones.
I wonder if that'll ever replace outdoor golf completely.
Not at my house it won't. You can bet on that, Charlie.
Bob.
Bob.
Now we have a good word from one of our participating...
Bye, Joan. I'm heading for the ballpark. I'm late now.
Gil Hodges, look at the list of errands you've left for me to do again. And I'm so busy with spring cleaning.
I know, but it's spring cleaning time for the car, too. So please be sure to get the motor oil changed in the car and get a fresh Fram filter, too, honey.
A fresh Fram filter, Gil? What for?
To keep the oil clean. Dirt and sludge can ruin an engine. Nothing fills motor oil with sludge faster than the short runs you make, shopping and taxiing the children to school. Just take the car in and ask for a Fram.
A Fram? How will they know what I mean?
They'll know. Most service stations sell Fram filters than any other brand. Nothing keeps oil clean like a Fram filter.
The Dodgers' popular first baseman, Gil Hodges, sure knows his filters. He knows how important it is to change oil filters at least every 5,000 miles. It's Fram for him, for you too. Fram filters.
Nice going. Gil, that's terrific. I should hate to compare, the reading of the lines of...
when you began in this business, you probably didn't sound any better.
No, that's right. But Gil, really, for a guy who can hit home runs and play first base so well and come on the air and do a better job than Bob here. I think it's truly amazing.
Remember the first show we did? We came on and said, "Hello, everybody. Here is the Bob and Ray show."
Hello, Ray. Hello, everybody. I am just a plain citizen.
And we are here to entertain you.
Yeah, that's right. But
we hope
now,
you
look,
like it.
I mean, we're seasoned pros. We could sit here or stand if we should desire and go on and on, well, as long as, until CBS cut us off.
Well, I think one thing we're particularly proud of is the fact that we can take most any given subject and kind of run with it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that?
I would think that probably is a very good description of our talent, or what we are strong in, our strong suit. But again, I'd like to remind you, Bob, that I see the big picture all the time.
Yeah,
you're great on the details.
I know it. I see.
We'll be back to wish you all a pleasant weekend in just 10 seconds.
Weekend, one and all.
That accent, incidentally, was Sicilian that they use. Until Monday, this is Ray Goulding reminding you to write if you get work.
Bob Elliott reminding you to hang by your thumb.
This is the CBS Radio Network.
KCBS AM/FM San Francisco. AM/FM San Francisco.